Very good morning to all of you. So in this class, we'll be discussing about the concept of event and how to handle the events and what is the use of events. So basically, the discussion is about handling different types of events during the execution of a program or whenever a user is interacting with the Java program, then there is a need of certain type of events. With the help of events only, user can talk to the program or user can interact with the graphical user interface. So that is what is event. So event handling is fundamental to all the Java programming. Why? Because that is how we can talk to the program. Due to generation of the event only, we can interact with the program. And those events are basically studied in two ways by using either applets or by using graphical user interface. GUI indicates graphical user interface. GUI is graphical user interface. GUI is graphical user interface. So two ways. Applets was there. This part I'll be briefly covering it later whenever we start the program. So it was there for old syllabus, not for new syllabus. It is not there. But still, I'll cover it later briefly. And in this chapter, we'll be concentrating more on GUI based programs. GUI based programs. So whatever program is written, it will be having one corresponding graphical user interface with the help of which we will interact with the program. And they are called as graphical user interface based program. Because if we have the GUI, we can talk to the programs. Because it is difficult to remember the commands for all the operations. So it is difficult to remember commands. So graphical user interfaces are developed to talk to the program. So whatever we do, all these are examples for the graphical user interfaces. Like in MS Word document, if you go for this is what is graphical user interface. So you can go to home button and select whatever options you want. But for everything, there is one backward or backend code is written. That code is going to execute whenever you click on any of the options. So we can talk to the program with the help of graphical user interfaces. So basically, what actually is an event? So before we see the event, so let us see, there are two ways of handling the event. That is two types of events can be handled in two different ways. The events can be handled in two different ways. One is the difference is basically in the which version of Java we are using. There are two different versions. The original version of Java that was 1.0 and the present modern version that is 1.1. So there are two versions. Based on the version of Java, the event handling mechanism will differ. So how it is going to differ, we'll explain it later. That is, both are being used, but right now all the programs what we discuss are based on version 1.1, that is Java version 1.1. So it is based on which version we are using. If you are using Java 1.0, that is one type of event that supports one type of event handling mechanism. Java version 1.1 is going to support another type of event handling mechanism, right? So now here we'll be discussing how actually the two event handling mechanisms are different. How actually the two event handling mechanisms are different. So we'll have something called a delegation event model. So delegation event model. So the meaning of delegate here is we are sending the event to some listener to handle that particular event. So this is going to define a standard mechanism with which a event and event listener can talk, or a standard mechanism with which user can talk to the Java program. But we will talk to the Java program by using Java, by using graphical user interface. But at the background, this is what is involved. What is that? Delegation event model is involved in the background. So how it is going to work? It has two main things basically. That is, a source is going to generate an event and sends it to one or more listeners. That is how the delegation event model works. That is how the delegation event model works. Delegation event model. So we will be having one source. We'll be having one source. So which is going to generate the events. Source which generate the events and they will be sent to one or more listeners. Listener number one, listener number two, listener number two, and so on up to n. Listener number n. So in the delegation event model, what happens? A source will generate, source is an entity which will generate the event, and those generated events will be sent to the listeners. And these listeners will act accordingly. That means for every event generated by the source, they will be handled by this particular listeners. They will be handled by this particular listeners. So what is an event? We will see immediately right now. Okay. Now, so the basically what is happening here is these are basically separated from the graphical user interface. That means here is the user. GUI, say for example, user is using this and we will talk only to the source. We'll talk only with the source. That means with the help of source, there will be some events generated. And events can be generated with two types, either by using explicitly by the program or by some inbuilt timer. So there are two types of event which can get generated. In whatever case the event is getting generated, that must be handled by the listeners. That must be handled by the listeners. We are not aware of this background, whatever is happening. That is left to the delegation event model to handle those particular events. And before these listeners can talk or before these listeners can receive the events from these sources, they must register with them. They must register with them. That means this listener should register with source. Listener should register with source. All the listeners should register. They should register with the source. So register in the sense they are going to register themselves with the source, saying that if the source is going to generate the events, they are ready to handle those particular events. And this is different in two versions, that is version Java version as we studied 1.0 and Java version 1.1. So this is where we study how it is different. What are the two types of event handling mechanism? One was based on version 1.0, another one was based on version 1.1. Now in version 1.0, what happens? In the delegation event model of version 1.0, whenever an event is generated from the source, say for example, mouse click is one event. Clicking a mouse, that is one event. Pressing a key onto the keyboard, that is one event. Move whatever I am moving my cursor now, that is one event. If I select some button, that is one event. Whatever you do with the system, that is one event. Say for example, one event, a source has generated one event. So what is the event? Mouse click is the event. Which is the source? Mouse is the source. If you press a key, pressing a key is the event, and what is the source for that? Source for that is keyboard. So that is how we talk about source and event. A source can generate more than one type of event. Say whenever a mouse has generated mouse click event, so it can send to the listeners to solve that particular, to address that particular event. Right now in version 1.0, what happens? If a mouse click is happening, if an event is happening, that was being sent to all the listeners. In version 1.0, what happens? Event will be sent to events will be notified to all the listeners in 1.0. That means whoever has, whether they have registered or not, irrespective of whether they have registered with the source or not, the event was sent to all the listeners. Whereas in 1.0, what happens? In 1.0, the event will be sent. The event will be sent to only registered listeners. Only registered. Only registered listeners. That is the difference between version 1.0 and version 1.1. So what is basically a delegation event model? There is one source which can generate some events and they will be addressed by the corresponding listeners. And before a listener can receive the events from the source, the listener should register with the corresponding sources. Whenever there is an event generated by the source, for example, mouse, with the mouse you can generate three types of events: scroll bar, left click, right click, dragging, moving the mouse. There are many events what you can generate with the mouse. Whenever there is an event, there are two ways with which the events are sent to the listeners. In version 1.0, the source, the event was sent to all the listeners, whether they have registered or not. Whereas in version 1.1, what happens? The event will be sent to only the registered listeners. That means those who are willing to address that event. In 1.0, what was happening? Whether they want to address it or not, it was being sent to all the listeners, irrespective of whether they want to address that or not. Whereas in 1.0, it will be sent only to the registered listeners. That means those who want to address those events. So that is the fundamental difference with which the version 1.0 and 1.1 will differ. So that is what is delegation event model. And the delegation event model, it will take care of solving or all the or addressing all the events without without increasing overhead onto the user. So what user will do? We will just make use of graphical user interfaces. By using some sources, we will generate events or talk to the programs, and whenever the events are generated, they will be sent to the listeners, registered listeners, and that will be solved. And user is just using the overhead of user is reduced. That means what it will do? It will have an advantage of reduced overhead to the users, because the only we are clicking, only we are using graphical user interface, and it is background. In the background, the delegation event model is going to function. So that is the advantage of delegation event model. Now let us see what basically is an event. An event is something, an object that describes some change in the source of an event. That is what is an event. So what is a definition of an event? An event is an object that describes a state change in a source. That describes a state change in a source. So that is what is an event. So basically, event tells us something. The source has changed its state from one state to other state. So there are two ways with which a event can be generated, because whenever a person is interacting with the graphical user interface, there are two. It can get generated by the user or by system. Say for example, some of the activities with which we can generate events are pressing a button or entering a character via the keyboard. So all these are examples. Selecting an item in a list or clicking of the mouse. So all these are examples of the state change. Because whenever mouse is idle, whenever you click on that, you are just trying to change the state of the mouse whenever you try to click. That means all these are examples of the events. If possible, see here, if I can say this, I am just trying to show you the mouse here, right? So this is the source of the event. This is mouse is a source which can generate some events. Mouse is the source. Now it is a source, and whenever you click on the button, I am pressing one click, left click. That means the source has changed its state. So what I have done, I have clicked a button, and whenever you click a button, some corresponding action will take place. For example, if I take the mouse, move it and click it here, then what happens? I am minimizing it. So that is how the source, whenever there is a change in the source of an event gets generated. For example, this is the keyboard what I can show, right? So this is one more source for generating events with which we can talk to the program or Java program. So whenever I press some button on the keyboard, say I have pressed one button. So pressing one button is going to create one event or some change in the source. Whenever if this source is there, you are doing nothing with the keyboard, then it is idle. If you do anything with the keyboard, then there is a change in the state of the source. Change in the state of the source. So this is what is the writing pad. This is one more source of the event. So it is idle now. So whenever I write something on this, what happens? It is going to see here. Whenever I write something on this, it is correspondingly it is generating some activities in the graphical user interface. So all these are examples for sources of the events and examples of the events. Sources of the events and examples of the events. Right? So how an event may get generated whenever some timer has expired or that means inbuilt event. So whatever I shown was explicit event which user was generating. In all the cases, that is also an event. And even if you are not interacting anything with the program, you are not changing anything for the source. That means you are not clicking the mouse, you are not pressing a key onto the keyboard. Nothing you are doing, but still an event can get generated. So what are the examples for that? Whenever a timer has expired. Say for example, you want to shut down your computer after 5 minutes. You can set a timer there. You can set a timer and after 5 minutes, the system will be shut down. So that is one example for event. That means which is not directly being caused by the user interaction. We are not interacting, but still one event is getting generated. Another example is one counter has exceeded its value. That means you have restricted a variable called count, which can have only values from 1 to 100. If it is exceeding 100, then that is one event. Or there is some failure. There can be possibilities that there is some hardware or software failure. For example, an exception. In a program, what you are generating, exception is an example for the event. That is a software failure. Some error has occurred in the program, and that is going to generate one event. Correspondingly, the listener will address that particular issue. Right? Another possibility could be an operation has completed. For example, you are executing the for loop. For loop has to be repeated for 100 times, for 100 iterations. After completion of 100 iterations, the next statement should get executed. So that is one example for completion of an operation or any of the possible statements in a program. So this is what is an event. This is what is an event, and this is how we can generate events. Now, different sources of event, as I said, mouse, keyboard, all are different sources of the events. So how do you define a source? A source is an object that generates an event. A source is an object that generates an event. Say, for example, mouse is an object which can generate some events. What are the different types of events the mouse can generate? Mouse can generate left click, right click, scroll bar, moving the mouse, dragging the mouse, selecting some elements from the graphical user interface, selecting some items from the um, drop down list. So all these are possible events what this source can generate. And when it is going to happen, whenever the internal state of that object is going to change in some way. As I said, whenever mouse is idle, its internal state will not change. Whenever you click on a mouse button, its internal state is going to change. And whenever there is a change in the internal state of any of the source, it is going to generate one corresponding event. And whenever an event is generated, it must be handled by the listener, or it must be addressed. The corresponding listener will take care of that event and perform the corresponding action. Now, to enable that, as I said, the source must register, or all the listeners should register with the corresponding sources, saying that they are capable of handling those listeners, handling those events. For example, this source, this is a source, and this is a listener. A source should allow the listener to register. That means it should allow, it should allow the listeners to register, and listeners should register with the sources. The listeners are able to register with the sources only when it provides some interface for the registration. Interface or the method for registration. Interface or method for registration. They should provide some interface or method for registration. By using that interface or method, the listeners will register with the source. The listeners will register with the source. It's like authentic. They are authentic to handle those sources. They are always ready to handle the events generated by these sources. So that is what is the method. That means there should be some method. And by using that method, the listeners will register with the sources. For example, for the mouse source, there can be more than one type of listeners. That means for left click, there can be one listener. For right click, there can be one listener. For scroll bar, there for this particular scrolling, whatever I am doing, this is the scrolling operation, what I am doing. For this scroll bar, there is one corresponding listener. And for this movement, there is one listener. And for this drag, there is one listener. So it is possible, and it is possible that a source can generate more than one type of events, and there can be more than one type of listeners. So this is one such method. What is that method? A source provides. Each event has its own registration method. This is what is general for. What is that? Add type listener and EL. That is, here type indicates name of the event. So what type of event has occurred, and EL is a reference to the event listener. EL is a reference to the event listener. That is type of event, and EL is a reference to the listener. This is just a reference to the listener, and type is type of the event. For example, if you assume source mouse as the source, different types of event can occur. Left click, right click, scroll bar, and corresponding one listener will be called. Correspondingly, one listener will be called. Right? So, for example, the method that registers a keyboard event. Keyboard event means from the keyboard we can press some keys onto the. We can provide some input by pressing some keys. So one keyboard event listener can be added. What is that method? Add key listener. So what this method does here is, this method, it is a method that is going to register a keyboard event listener. That means add key listener is a method. If you consider this as the keyboard, if you consider this as the keyboard, and what is the method it's going to provide? It's going to provide add key listener, add key listener method. I mean, this is the method with which the listener can register with the source. The listener can register with the source. There are many such methods which will allow the listeners to register. So another method can be for mouse motion listener. That means whenever you are moving the mouse, so the corresponding method is add mouse motion listener method. So one method will help. One method is being reserved for one type of listener, or one type of listener can make use of one method to register with the source. register with the source. And when an event is going to occur, the registered listeners are notified and they will receive a copy of the event. And this is called as multicasting. This is called as multicasting. That means, say, for example, this is a mouse. Mouse is a source, and there are listeners. Listener number one, listener number two, and listener number three. Listener number two, 1, 2, 3, and assume all three are registered. All three have been registered with the mouse. So what are the different types of mouse it can events mouse can generate? So this is for left click, this is for left click, and this is for right click, and this is for, say, scroll bar. These are the possible events what can happen with the mouse. So whenever there is an event, whenever there is an event in the mouse, for example, say you have performed left click of a button of the mouse. Whenever there is an event, two possibilities are there in that. Whenever an event gets generated, so what you do is that event is sent to all the listeners, sent to this listener, listener number 2, and listener number 3. Even though only left click is happening, that is being sent to all the listeners. All three will get that particular event. But who actually will handle this? This particular listener will handle that, because for left click, this is the listener who is responsible for handling the left click. But even though L1 is responsible for handling that left click, that will be sent to L2 as well as L3. And this particular mechanism is called as multicasting. This is called as multicasting. So what happens in multicasting? Whoever is registered or whoever has registered with the source, the event will be sent to all the listeners. And the listener who is responsible for that event will handle that event, and remaining listeners will simply discard that. Remaining listeners will simply discard that, and this is called as multicasting. This is called as multicasting, and exactly reverse to this is called as unicasting. That means send only event only to the corresponding listener, and the method for that is this one: add type listener, throw an exception when there are too many types of listeners. That means whenever such an event occurs, the registered listener is notified. This is known as unicasting the event. That means we are going to allow only one listener to register instead of multiple listeners. For example, for the mouse, only one listener. There are no, we are not going to allow more than one listener. In that case, it is called as unicasting. This is known as unicasting. For one source, one listener. Whatever event it is going to generate, only that listener is notified. That is called as unicasting. And as we register the listener, there is also method to unregister a specific type of event. So this is the method for unregistering. For example, add key listener you have added. Similarly, we can have remove key listener. That is type of event here is key press. You can also remove the listener. That means we are trying to unregister. How do you remove the listener? If this wants to unregister from this mouse, it is possible. It can stop once you unregister, then L1 will not be able to receive the events. So once you unregister, so L1 once you unregister, L1 interface will not be able to get any events from the mouse. So there are methods to unregister also. There are methods to unregister also. Right? And the third component here is listener. So as I said, all these are listeners. For every event, we'll be having the listener. That is, a listener is an object that is notified whenever an event occurs. A listener is a object that is notified whenever an event is going to occur. That means all these are objects. So these listeners are nothing but the objects. These are notified whenever some event occurs in the source. Whenever some event occurs in the source. So basically three things we have to concentrate about the delegation event model and event handling. Three main fundamental things. So what is the first thing? Source of the event. In the delegation event model, three entities are there. What is that? First thing is event. What is an event? Then second thing is what are the different sources of the event, and third thing is what are the different listeners for the event. That is event sources and event listeners. Core part of the delegation event model, any event handling mechanism, is the different type of events. Second one is the different sources of events, and the third one is listeners. Listeners for the events. These are three components of event handling, components of event handling mechanism, or the core components of delegation event model of Java. Delegation event model of Java. Now, basically, whatever events we talk, they are all represented by classes in Java. That means classes are going to represent the events. One event is represented by one corresponding class, and there are a number of classes defined for each and every event in a event handling mechanism. For example, for all the activities of a mouse, there is one class. For all the activities of a keyboard, there is one class with a different set of methods. So we'll see each and every classes now. And basically, there are two types. The events are those either they are defined by AWT, that is Abstract Window Toolkit, or the one defined by the Sphinx. In this particular chapter, we are talking about only Abstract Window Toolkit, that is events generated by Abstract Window Toolkit. And the remaining is generated by the Sphinx, which we will be discussing immediately after that. That means two ways we can generate the events, either by using Abstract Window Toolkit or by using Sphinx. So here in the event handling, these first part is talking about Abstract Window Toolkit, and second part is talking about Sphinx. So this is all about Abstract Window Toolkit, and second part is about Sphinx. So that's what is module 5. So what we discuss in this year is first half is about all the types of events which will make use of the Abstract Window Toolkit. Second one by using the Sphinx. Right? So for all the events in the Java hierarchy, there is one super class called event object. So event object one is one super class. Event object is one super class for all the classes, for all the event classes. This is super class, and everything will come under this. That is mouse event, keyboard event, whatever you do. So all are coming under this. So this is one super class, and which is present in this particular package, that is java.utility. Java is a package and utility is a sub package. About these packages and interfaces we will be studying in the fourth module. This is what is here, packages and interfaces. This is what is here in the packages and interfaces, which we'll be discussing later. Okay, so the constructor or method supported by this event object class is this one, where src is an object that is going to generate these events. And this event object superclass is basically having two methods, get source method and toString method. As the name itself says, get source is responsible for providing the details of the event, and its general form is this one, and toString is going to return the string equivalent of the event. That means human readable form of the corresponding event will be returned by the toString method. And this AWT event, this is defined within this sub package, that is Java and abstract window toolkit sub package. And this is nothing but the subclass of the event object. Subclass of the event object. That means in the class hierarchy, we have event object as the superclass. We have event object as the superclass, and below that we have AWT event, abstract window toolkit event, and whatever the classes we generate now, all these are subclasses of this. That means this is the fundamental superclass, then AWT event, and like this we'll be having swings here later. We'll be having swings. Now we are concentrating on abstract window toolkit events. That means all the events which are generated by using abstract window toolkit. There are two ways of generating graphical user interfaces. Abstract window toolkit, that is nothing but the applets. Applets I'll be briefing later. Right. So to summarize, what is that? Event object is one super class for all the events, and AWT event is a subclass for the subclass, is a superclass for the all the AWT events, and that is what we are concentrating in the delegation event model. This is the package, that is Java AWT and event. This is the package which is going to define all the types of events generated by the various user interface elements. Now we'll see each and every class. The table 2.22.1 shows many of the classes what we use and their description. That means this is the event class, the whole event classes. There are different types of events. Action event class, what it does here is it is generated whenever some action has happened. That is, some physical input is provided by the user. This class is responsible for handling all type of events. Whenever there is some, say for example, button is pressed, or you have selected one item, or you have double clicked the mouse, or you have right clicked a mouse, or you have selected the item from the list of items, or you have deselected the item. So whatever action you do, this class is responsible for handling all those types of events. Similarly, these are self-explanatory. Similarly, adjustment event class, why it is responsible? It is generated. That means an adjustment event is generated whenever a scroll bar is manipulated. For example, this is what is adjustment. I am just showing you some adjustment here. Scroll bar. See, all these are adjustment. I have pressed the control key and I am using the scroll bar now. That is to zoom in and zoom out. So this is one adjustment event. So what I am doing, an adjustment event will get generated whenever a scroll bar is manipulated. Say for example, you can see here, I am just selecting the scroll bar now and I am moving it down and up. So this is what is one adjustment event. So correspondingly, all are self-explanatory. For example, one more you can take component event. So whenever a component is hidden, moved, resized, or becomes visible. So all these are examples for component event. For example, resizing, and this is, assume this is one component. When I click on this, it is getting resized. It is getting maximized. So I will minimize this. So that means it has hidden now. The component is hidden. So once again, I will open that. It is the component has become visible now. So correspondingly, whatever you do with the graphical user interface, there is one corresponding class for that. Whatever you do, there is one event, and for every event, there is one corresponding class, which will take care of addressing those events. Which will take care of addressing those events. right? So everything will be discussing in detail. That is container event generated whenever a component is added or removed from the container. We'll be discussing later what is a container and all. Focus event generated when a component gains or loses, say for example, keyboard focus. Keyboard focus. Say for example, assume this is a component and here it has lost the key focus now. When I press escape and now it has gained the keyboard focus. Keyboard focus and mouse is scrolling. Now I can type some keys onto this. So it has gained focus. It has gained focus for receiving characters from the keyboard. Receiving characters from the keyboard. Now say when I select the pen, I have selected pen. Now it has lost the focus. As you can see, if you press keys, automatically it will get pressed whenever it is there. But when you select the pen, now the focus is gained for writing. For writing, that means for whatever events you do with the graphical user interface, there is one corresponding class. There is one corresponding class. So this actually, these things will happen in Java program, but for your understanding purpose I am taking example of this. But actually whenever you are running the Java programs, all these things will happen, right? So focus input event, but it is going to deal with all type of input events, that means with which you give input to the program. So we'll discuss one by one all these in the later. That means see every class is being discussed. The very first class is action event class. So every class is being discussed in detail. The whole course is about discussing each and every class. That is the fundamental details of that class. What are the different methods that class is going to provide? That's it. This is the core part of the whole discussion now. What are the different classes and what are the different methods which the class is going to provide for handling corresponding events. So one second, I just adjust it. Okay, an action event. So action event class. So this is the class which is responsible for handling all type of action. For example, an action event is generated when you press a button. That is obviously whenever you press a button or an item is selected from uh, a list item is double clicked. You have double click. Whenever you double click, user thing is the folder or file will get open. So all these are corresponding listeners or a menu is selected. So in such cases, an action event is generated. Action event has 4 integer constants that can be used to identify any modifiers associated with the action event. For example, whenever you are performing action, you can use the integer constant. For example, if you consider keyboard, whenever you are pressing keyboard, you can use this all the special keys given to you: Alt, Control, Shift, function button, Windows button, escape button. So all these are special cases what you can use. That means Alt mask is a constant and Control mask is a constant which will identify whether these masks are associated. That means whenever you are pressing the keyboard, are you using the Alt mask? Are you using the Control mask? So all these are corresponding constants with this. And they will just indicate for the corresponding listener, they will indicate the Alt key is used or Control key is used, because the meaning is different. The meaning will be different whenever you use these keys. Shift, whenever you press shift, the meaning is different for along with the normal keys. So this action event has 3 different types of constructors or the methods. This is constructor number 1, 2 and 3. So action normal constructor is, it is taking parameters called the source and the type of event and the command. For example, here src, this is going to refer to the object that has generated this event, because action can take place either by mouse or keyboard or any other joystick or some other device. So here SRC or source is going to identify the source that has generated the event. For example, you can take mouse or keyboard that has generated the event, and type of the event is specified by the type, and its command string is present in the command. That means if you consider mouse as the source for the event, and type of the event can be right click, type of the event can be right click, and the command what it indicates what has to be done whenever right click is pressed. Whenever right click is pressed, what has to be done? That is what is the command. Let's see in this case. Yes, any issues? Whenever a right click is pressed, say for example, say the command corresponding command could be I am using mouse here, I have right clicked now. Whenever you right click, some list of drop down menus being displayed. This is what is the command to the right click. Source here is mouse and event is right click. And what is the command? What should happen whenever you right click? That is what is command to the listener. That's what is command to the listener. Along with this, we have modifier also. The fourth parameter could be modifier. So what the argument modifier indicates, which modifier key were used among these. That is what you have used, function key, alt key, control key or shift key. Which one you have used, that is present within the modifier. And another event could be when. When another parameter is when parameter. So what this when parameter contains, the when parameter specifies when the event has occurred. That means the clock value of the system, the time duration at which the event was taking place or the event has taken. So this is what is the action event class and its constructors. Source indicates the source of the event, type indicates what type of event has occurred, command indicates the corresponding command to the listener, that is what the listener should do. And the modifier identifies what type of modifiers were used while generating the event. And one parameter will contain the clock value or the clock time for the corresponding event. Right, and so there is one more method. So we can obtain the command name for the invoking action event by using this, that is get action command. For example, when a button is pressed, an action event is generated that has a command name equal to the label on that button. That means left click, what should happen? Right click, what should happen? So all such methods are self-explanatory. For example, you can take one more method. If you want to know the time duration when the event has occurred, so that you can obtain by using getWhen method. That is, getWhen method is going to return the time at which the event took place. It will return the clock value or timestamp. This is specifically the technical name is called as timestamp. It's going to indicate when the event has occurred. Similarly, we have adjustment event class. Adjustment event class. So what adjustment event class? It is basically generated whenever a scroll bar is manipulated. It is basically generated by the scroll bar. For example, this is what is the scroll bar. This is what is the scroll bar what we have. For this scroll bar, the type of event class, the class reserved for the scroll bar is adjustment event class. So there are 5 types of adjustment events what we can perform with the scroll bar, and they are for every type of event there is one corresponding integer constant. For example, block decrement, block increment, track, unit decrement and unit decrement. That means in case of block decrement, what happens? The user clicked inside the scroll bar to decrease its value. That means user clicked inside the scroll bar to decrease its value. That is what is clock decrement and increment. That means here we are just clicking inside the scroll bar to perform the adjustments. track, it will just track that slider was dragged. This is what is the slider. Whenever you drag this slider, that will be monitored. That will be monitored by the track constant. Unit decrement and unit increment. The button at the end of the scroll bar was clicked to decrease its value. That means here, if you can see here, there is a button here at the bottom. I'm just trying to simulate and explain you. The button, if you can see, it is incrementing, it is scrolling in one unit, constant unit, or you can say few lines are getting incremented or decremented at a time. It is called as constant. Button at the scroll bar was clicked to decrease its value or increase its value. In other words, if you scroll it like this, it will randomly, it will scroll. It is not in the form of constant units. But to adjust in the form of constant unit, the button at the end of the scroll bar was pressed. If you press here this button, one button at a time, it's going to scroll unit wise, not the block wise. Yes, the corresponding constructor for this is adjustment value change. That is what particular adjustment has taken place. So this is one adjustment event. Adjustment event is the constructor which is having one standard format. What is that? Source which has generated the event. Obviously the source is scroll bar in this case. ID of that particular source and type of event. What type of event has occurred? Among these five types, which type of event you have caused, and specific data associated with that is present in the data part. Right, and similarly there are some other methods which are self-explanatory. I think time is over. Let's stop now.